I'd like to call this meeting to order. Maureen Platt, everybody stand, Maureen, please.
Prayer of St. Francis of Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
I'd like to have the approval of the minutes of September 20th on the budget workshop, September 20th, special call council meeting, September 25th, regular council meeting, October 10th, special call council meeting, and October 10th, budget workshop.
Bob, I think there's agenda or something.
What did that actually
That's after, we're on the approval of the minutes.
The last one. Here, you say that.
Do I have a motion?
I'm fine.
Second. All in favor? Aye. On the adoption of the agendas, we have a removal of items 8 and 9, and the reason for the service delivery strategy update is we haven't received any offer from the county. So nothing has changed since the last time that we talked, so I would like to have 8 and 9 removed, and also I'm adding item for quick claim deed for 34 Downing Street. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion accordingly, change the agenda. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Mayor's remarks. We're going to have Ella be talking about our fund test the last Saturday. It was in my mind, a terrific success. The vendors were happy, the people were happy, and so it is a goal for next year with the same vendors, maybe add some more. Hopefully that the weather be a little better. So the weather that we had was a great turnout. There she goes. All right, council remarks. Since you were the last, I'll give you the first.
The last shall be first. Good morning. We're a full house, but it's a much cozier room, and we're cozy in here, so it's good to see you, and let's proceed with our meeting. Paul?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming. Last night at the fire department meeting, we meet it's the first quarter of every year. We were talking about funding and all for 2019, and what we're working towards and planning is for 2 positions over there, part-time positions. One will be 20 hours a week, a clerical paperwork type position, and then the other position will be something akin to the chiefs or assistant chiefs, spending about 20 hours a week on average over there. And believe, is David here? David's the chairman of our board, but I believe we looked at the numbers and we'll be able to do that without an increase in Sky Valley's property taxes. I wanted to bring everybody up on that. Anyway, when I got home about 9:15 last night, I had an email, asked me about an email that I got that Jim Curtis has announced to me, dear Paul. And I hadn't had it. I hadn't gotten it. It was about 9:20. I called Jim. Jim confirmed he hadn't sent it directly to me. And in fact, at this point, I'm not even gonna read it.
Oh.
Doesn't deserve the time. But I appreciate everybody from coming. If you have any questions, get with me one-on-one. I'll be here for about an hour afterwards. But this doesn't deserve public, y'all's time. Go ahead, Al.
Good morning, everyone. I will be happy when November 7th arrives.
Yeah, amen.
I think that this has turned into a dog and pony show, and basically it's my dad is tougher than your dad, and I'm going to fight you over it. I think that November 7th, everybody will wake up and they'll grab their coffee and do what they did on November 6th or November 5th, and our efforts should be more coordinated and moving forward to continue to make Sky Valley what we would all like it to be. And not any one of us is going to always get our wishes on how things are going to be. And there needs to be compromise to accomplish what works best for everyone.
Represent the taxpayers.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. I want to say that I was very proud to see we had a fantastic Fall Fest. Ella and James and the crew, you all did a fantastic job. You really did. And all the Sky Valley residents that participated, I appreciate that. We did have a great turnout. I understand that from Ella, our vendors even did very well this year. So that was nice. Those of you who participated in decorating the hay bales and the street corners and so forth, thank you very much. James and the crew did the cat at the visitor center, and I thought that was absolutely fantastic. That was cute. So we're just really fortunate to live in such a great community, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and I agree, the Fall Fest was absolutely fantastic. The decorations were great. Good to see everybody in here this morning, and today is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad.
I just want to report a little bit on Fall Fest. As everyone has said, we had a really good turnout. At first, the weather sort of kept the crowd away, but once it started clearing up, it started picking up. And I did talk with each and every vendor that was there, and they all want to make sure that they can come back next year. And they did all do very well. And they were pleased that one comment that they asked that you all know, that they were very happy with how they were received in Sky Valley, and they said this is one of the sweetest people that they have dealt with going to these fairs, and they wanted me to make sure that I let you all know how much they all enjoy coming to Sky Valley. And thank you for all the volunteers. We couldn't do it without the volunteers on that day, and the city staff went above and beyond. We had 2 months to get this thing together, and I just want to say I could not have done it without my crew, and I just want to give an extra thanks to them for all their efforts.
Under new business, we have the quitclaim deed for 34 Downing Street.
Not a whole lot to talk about on this one. It's the same thing we've been doing in the past. We've got a little, excuse me, a piece of a planter on 34 Downing Street, used to be Julian and Liz Ferriani's home. So anyway, we just would like to get this corrected while we're in the middle of making the deal. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Yeah, this is very common for us to do these quick claim deeds when they start doing the surveys and they realize that some of the property is actually on the city right of way. We've done quite a few of these in the past, so I would recommend that council approve this quick claim deed.
I make a motion that we approve this question.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Any more?
Yeah, I do. When I'm looking at this, you've got the request for the planter. And first of all, I understand that this has been a routine as far as previous councils in Sky Valley. And I understand what you're saying, but what my question is that there's a whole section here that covers the planter and the part of the driveway and part of the right of way. What if the city needs to do something on this right of way, which won't be a right of way if it becomes part of this quitclaim?
Right.
And we're talking a planter, but then there's a whole piece of property on both sides of it. So how does that work as far as the right of way? Now does the right of way now change?
It does. What it does, it makes them responsible for that. The only thing that we try to address is that I try and go over these with James to make sure if we have to plow the roads for snow or anything like that, that it won't be affected, and it would not be because it's already being plowed in that area. So normally, that's the main thing that we have. Now, when we start going back, when we start doing paving, we would have to address some issues at that point, but we're just doing those on an as-needed basis is what we're trying to do.
So if, my understanding is that we've got future plans for paving. So how does that work if paving comes up on Dowling Lane?
Right.
And you go up to certain spots on the edge of the road, not even to the right of way. And you need to go further, in this case where the planter is. How does that affect the city and the stance with the homeowner?
Right, what we would do is normally we would meet with the homeowner and tell them what our plans are as far as paving and let them know where we would go up to on the property line. Like in this instance with a planter, like asphalt needs, we would only do the aprons like for the drive, which is what we normally do when we do paving. We don't just do a drop. So we would still do the same thing as we would do with any other paving project.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry, I'm late.
Have any more questions? If not, I'd like to have a motion to accept this quick claim deed. Do I have a motion to accept it? We had the motion.
A second.
We had the second, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I have to recuse myself.
Motion carried. That is the extent of our business. We'll open it up now to public forum, general comments. If anyone has anything they would like to.
I'm Liz Moore, and I had put in a request for an agenda item to address that stop sign that's at the end of Ridgepole and CBS. And lately, apparently, there's been some enforcement of not making a complete stop at that stop sign. While the range of vision is like one of the most spectacular views of Sky Valley, I would like to suggest, ask about permission, maybe you could make that a yield sign instead of a complete stop sign. I don't know what safety issues would be involved, but it sure is very highly visible too. You know, when you come down, you can see the road from here to there, and it's clear. Keep on rolling.
I had
My
asked,
proposal.
I had asked the chief to check on this, and he is, Don, who are you talking with about this? Hadn't you made contact with?
Well, contacted the Department of Transportation, they govern road signs, stop signs, intersections, and all that. You have two major roads at an intersection of that nature, they're gonna leave it as a stop sign or a red light.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be a yield sign. I mean, yes, she's correct, it's a beautiful view, but go to any other town, there's beautiful views there. You have a stop sign. We have been enforcing that one. I mentioned it several months ago in a meeting, that we get a lot of complaints with Ridgepole and Overlook, people running through them. How we spent over a month doing verbal warnings, and we started stepping it up to written warnings, keeping a list of the people. We have habitual violators that live here who should know better, but they're continually doing it. We have a lot of people who are leaf looking, bird watching, and aren't paying attention. And when you run through those signs, we have a lot of near miss accidents. So it's also been brought up, as you notice, we've had to re-establish the speed zone through here. From Tahoe to the post office is 15 miles an hour. And we can get people going 35 and 40 through there. Not a very fast speed, but by Georgia law, that's a super speeder. Unless you got $1,500 and want to lose your license, slow down. That's the state law. It's not Sky Valley, it's not us. But we have a lot of foot traffic through here, and the foot traffic generates usually a lot of the complaints. So yes, we have been trying to bring awareness, not necessarily enforcement. Enforcement would mean we're writing tickets and pulling money out of your pocket. We're trying to bring awareness. You live here, be aware of the laws, respect them, and then our visitors will do the same.
Thanks for that.
That's a
I
good
wasn't aware it was
explanation.
15.
This is about a transition, apparently, right?
I was thinking it was 25.
There's hardly ever been anybody.
There is a sign, yes, it is a sign, it is posted.
Kathy Turner. I was going to request that when we get around to paving the roads or whatever, that we could redo the stripes on Alex Mountain and LaBelle Circle. There are a lot of steep drop-offs, and they've got gray right now to blend in. And it's really scary with a lot of leaves. It's night, it's foggy, and I go to those routes every day. It's just the Alex Mountain and LaBelle Circle.
I was going to ask you, I happened to be up around Demarest the other night, and where you come out, you're facing a one-way sign, so you have to turn right. And it was black as pitch, and coming around, there's no good direction if you don't know the compound. There's several roads going off. You really could have a ride in the country. Fortunately, I knew how to come around, but sometime in the future, it might be helpful for some directing signs to get back to Sky High or Sky Valley Way. I just personally noticed, and I know you need some one-ways, but every road in Sky Valley looks like this. And once you start with one-way signs, the whole world's going to want one-way signs. I would just ask you, if you leave that one, to please consider some directions how to get back to the lodge and that road. It's tough at night, and I know the compound. Thank you.
There's no sign you're saying to tell you to turn right.
You don't, well, you have to turn right because
Right,
the rest
I'm
is
saying,
one
but
way.
is there not a sign that says that if you don't?
But once you get right, there's several roads going off. It could be very confusing. It would be very helpful at some of the intersections to tell people how to continue to get back to Sky Valley Way. Thank you for your time.
That's a good idea. We need to ask the GPS.
Chief,
people
Is that something that the state needs to weigh on?
for the directional signs?
Yeah.
No, but Ms. Platt has a great point. One of the areas that people who aren't from here get confused in a lot is that, as you all go up Ridgepole, you know where the wide intersection is with LaBelle?
Yep.
A lot of people get turned, and their GPSs aren't normally working right there, and they'll start circling LaBelle. Then they'll get on Ridgepole, and you know, Ridgepole's broke into a small section right there, goes up on McClure. They'll do that, they'll back and forth, go circles, and then their GPS will kick in, and it will try to take them out down through Scotland and through Covered Bridge, which those roads don't even exist. So we catch people doing that circle a lot. So that is a great point.
Thank you.
I do have one suggestion for that very intersection. You know, there's the LaBelle Circle and Ridgepole sign there. It's not clear which is which way.
That's right.
If it says LaBelle right and Ridgepole left, you know, with a little arrow to it, that'd be a lot less confusing.
One of the fortunate things is in Sky Valley, if you keep going, you usually go in circles. So
You and I know
You have
that.
another option. You're back, okay, that one didn't work.
Is there any other comments? If not, then I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Second?
Should make the motion.
Yeah, but who seconded it? Oh, I'm sorry. The move and second, we adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Just in time.